You're listening to Potty Mouth Radio, the home of movies, music, television, and comedy. We watch a thing. We watch a thing. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to We Watched a Thing. How you doing, mate? Because this week we are not watching anything. We lied on the tin. This week we are counting down our top 5 killer animal movies. This was your idea, Dave, and you were very clear it was not monsters.
No,
they had
monsters
to be real,
totally different episode.
real
this is
wild
real
animals.
world animals.
I stretched it a little, but
How do you stretch real world animals a little?
well, you know, you said that they couldn't be. They couldn't be enhanced magically or scientifically or anything.
Oh God, you've got the flying monkeys from Wizard of Oz, haven't you? Fucking hell!
I don't, because I would consider them magic. But you know, like, all right,
We'll see.
You'll see when we get there. Look, I think because we are only doing 5s. There's no crossovers here.
No.
So I think there are going to be some that are going to be taken very, very early by whoever the wheel picks.
Literally, the first thing we said was whoever goes first is going to get the obvious one.
Yeah. So
and
let's
the robots will decide.
So let's go ahead. Let those robots decide. I'm spinning the wheel. Oh, damn it. I thought it was going to be me, and then it just ticked over to you. You are going first, so why don't you tell us about Jaws?
Let me look at my list. Maybe 1, 2, 3. Look, I love you, Billy. I'm not going to take it.
Okay, well, I'm betting that you're going to take what I was going to take as my first one then.
I don't know. I am going to put as my number 5. Do I want to put the... Oh, shit, you're going to take that. Fuck. All right, yeah, these are not... All right, this is what I'm going to say. I'm not going to take the shark. Mm-hmm. However, when we get to the end of our 5, we get to reorder them. Before they go up for the vote, we can reorder them.
Order doesn't matter.
Yeah.
There's no order to this. Yeah.
So I'm not taking that, but I am going to take what is sometimes referred to as Jaws in the Outback.
You're going with Razorback.
Going with Razorback.
That was going to be what I was going to take when you took Jaws.
Well, there you go. So it all works out.
Yeah, Razorback is a great
Russell
film.
Mulcahy, who is a weird director. He directed 2 of my favourite films of the 80s, which is Razorback, which we're obviously talking about, and Highlander, which is one of my all-time favourite films. He did a number of amazing music videos. Other than that, and what did he do? He co-created one of the fantasy TV shows that I quite like. Can't remember which one. But other than that, he kind of disappeared off the face of the planet, which is bizarre because he was such a visual stylist. Razorback has no business looking as fucking good as it does. Mm-hmm. It should be a B-grade creature feature akin to fucking frogs, but it's not. It looks incredible. It is an artistic fever dream of a film.
Yeah.
You've got Gregory Harrison, who is an American who comes out to Australia because his wife's kind of disappears off the radar. She came out for work to this remote town in the middle of the outback and disappeared. He comes out trying to find her. No one will tell him anything. He gets to meet Brett Whiteley's daughter, Archie Whiteley, who's just a delight. And there's a giant pig.
Yeah.
And I fucking love this movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie. You know, I've gotten into collecting VHS tapes every now and then. I see this.
I was about to talk about the 4K collector's edition I got.
every now and then I see this pop up on one of my collectors groups, and it's always, $200-300 because it's quite hard to find. Great movie though, really good. Yeah, this was going to be my top pick after Jaws. Obviously, I'm going with Jaws as my first pick.
Tell us about this thing. I've never heard of it.
I mean, look, I don't need to say much. first real big summer blockbuster.
They created the word blockbuster, even.
Exactly.
Which is,
Not Spielberg's
interesting.
first film, of course, but one of his, first very big films.
His first good film.
Oh, no, that's not true at all, man. Searching for Sugarman
19
is fantastic. No, not Sugar. What's it called? His very first film.
I can't remember the order of them. When was the fucking 1941? Because that's not good.
That was after Jaws, I believe.
Sugarland Express?
Sugarland Express. That's what I'm thinking of. Fucking great
fine.
film. Really good film. Not as good as Jaws, though. Obviously, this is kind of the first.
He was literally like early 20s or something, surely, when he made. Like,
yeah.
he was out of his depth, and there's. It's a fascinating, like any of the documentaries
the
you can see
things
about the
that went
production of
wrong
this.
with the
Bruce
shark
the Shark was a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
Like, this film should not be the masterpiece that it is, given his inexperience and how fraught with disaster the entire production was.
Yeah.
It's
It's
astonishing.
amazing. Yeah. I just, for my birthday, actually, the family got me the Jaws Lego set, which it has the entire boat. It's got all the characters, and it's got the moment of him popping out of the water. It's so sick. I'll send you a picture. All right, so over to you for your next pick.
Oh,
then.
balls! I'm not prepared. All right. I'm literally, because we can reorder them for the vote, I'm literally going to pick these in the order that I think you're most likely to steal them. So my number 4 then is a film from 1996 called The Ghost and the Darkness,
Okay. Yep.
which is...
About a lion.
It's about 2 lions.
Yeah.
Nicknamed The Ghost and the Darkness.
Yeah. Good movie. No, it wasn't on my shortlist
It
because
is-
I did my shortlist in about half an hour or less.
Weirdly, this film is not particularly highly regarded. I love it. I think it's a great film. Screenplay by Bill Goldman, who, as far as I'm concerned, is the greatest screenwriter of all time. It's directed by like Stephen Hopkins or someone. It's no one good. Billy can look that up while I vamp. But you've got Val Kilmer and Michael Douglas, essentially. That is your cast. There's a lot of other people, but they are the main two. It concerns a engineer around the turn of the century, I think, who is charged with finishing construction on a bridge in Africa. And he's brought there by Tom Wilkinson, from memory. And fairly early on in his tenure, when he's trying to get this organise the workers to build this bridge, they start falling prey to the they were fairly famous. I knew about them prior to this film from a book I had as a kid. They were the man-eaters of Tsavo, lions who normally don't attack people, but there were a couple of that decided that the local workers were tasty fair and started killing off a sizable number of the workers on this. And so Val Kilmer enlists the help of
I forgot it was
Michael
Kilmer.
Douglas
Yeah.
who is a kind of a hunter. And he arrives with this kind of Maasai warrior tribe of lion hunters, and they set about trying to catch these man-eating lions. And it is so exciting. It is a good old school adventure. And that's... I said I knew about these lions before. I had a book as a very young kid called Real Life Adventures or something, and it had stories, real world stories of like whaling and and there was one about the man-eaters of Tsavo, which is why I'd heard of them before. So I kind of came into this a little bit invested anyway, but it's just a super exciting story. You've got this wonderful pairing of two fantastic actors with Michael Douglas and Val Kilmer playing very different characters. You've got the kind of experienced safari hunter, and you've got the engineer who is still he's an engineer who goes out to the wilds of Africa to build shit, so it's not like he's a suit and tie guy. But they have a wonderful chemistry on screen. It's super exciting. The scenes with the lions are great. I fucking love this movie. I thought it was
Yeah.
great. And
Yeah, good movie,
for
yeah.
a
I
director
haven't seen it
whose
in a long
pedigree
time, I
is
should.
pretty shit. Like he has, other than Judgment Night, which is kind of a nostalgic favorite from the 80s, his filmography is peppered with shit films.
I should
Bad
rewatch it.
Nightmare on Elm Street. What else did he do? Fucking terrible.
Yeah.
He's a bad director, but he somehow lucked it in with this one, and
Yeah.
it's a cracker.
All right, my next one is where I don't think it's really bending the brief, but we'll see what you think. So the other caveat you had was no dinosaurs. Just saying that to explain to people Jurassic Park is not on my list. Anyway, my number 2 is Tremors because worms are real. And no, I'm kidding. That's just me trying to soften it. So then when I say my real one, you're like, well, that's not that ridiculous. I'm going with King Kong, 1933's King Kong.
100% allow. Oh,
He's just a big ape. He's just a big ape. He's not.
he is the result of nuclear testing, but I'll let it slide.
This is not like, the current King Kong where he's a beast that lives in the center of the earth or anything. This is
Oh, the less said about those films, the Monarch films, the less said, the better.
yeah, just a big old ape. And
Yeah.
I mean, this is such a brilliant film. I mean, some of the design elements in this
Weirdly-
film, the big gate on the island, it's so well made.
Weirdly, the thing where I would query this again versus the brief is not the fact that he's a big ape. It's the fact that he is not a killer animal. At no point is he trying to.
Oh, but
I'm letting it slide.
He's a
I'm letting it
threatening
slide. I'm just
animal.
putting it out there.
Whether or not he
Is he the bad
actually
guy or is
kills-
he
well,
actually the hero?
It wasn't the airplanes. It was Beauty killed the Beast. Such a good fucking line. Fuck, I love this film. It's a brilliantly made
It's a
film.
great- which one
Whether
are you
or not he
going?
kills anyone, huh?
Which do you think is the best King Kong?
33, the original.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for me, yeah, 100%.
I'd go 70s. The Jessica Lange one is my favourite of all of them.
Jessica Lange is great.
I
Yeah.
do like the PJ one, but I
Yeah,
think
2005. Yeah,
I
yeah.
love that Jessica Lange one. I think it tugs the heartstrings for me more than any of them.
It's a great story. It's so well produced. I mean, yeah, you could have picked any of them, but so that's my next pick is King Kong. So over to you for your third pick.
Okay, so I've done that. I've got that. All right. Not in order, but this is the only one of my other 3 that you might pick, I think. Ooh. All right, I'm going purely on the amount of fun I had with it. I'm going with Cocaine Bear.
Not on my list.
Oh, fuck, I could have picked one of the others.
I did consider it, but yeah, didn't make my list. I only saw it the once. My memory is that I did enjoy it a lot. I like
had
Elizabeth
so
Banks
much
a
fun.
lot.
I don't like her as a director. I think she's a fucking bad director. When she took over, Pitch Perfect went down the toilet.
Oh, I don't blame her for that. That
Her
franchise
Charlie's
runs its
Angels
course.
is fucking god awful. This was, I think, the first line of my review of this film from memory was something like, "Oh wow, Elizabeth Banks can direct." I had so much fun. I thought this was absolute fucking riot. The cast were amazing. You got fucking Ray Liotta in there. Christ. Felicity's there.
Yeah.
You've got kids not being annoying. You've got bears snorting cocaine. Oh my
Kids
god,
snorting cocaine.
this movie is just
Yeah,
so
it's
much
a lot.
fun.
It's a lot of fun. I definitely considered it, but yeah, it just didn't crack my list. Interesting though that we're
super
going
amount
with
of gore.
Yeah.
And don't you have? Is it Margot Martindale? You've got who's the sheriff?
yes, it is. Yes,
Jesus Christ! The cast on
and
this
her
film.
death scene is great in
Oh,
this film. Yeah,
so the cast on this film belies what should be a Z grade creature feature.
Yeah.
Even more so than my previous picks.
it's one of those. It's one of those films that was pitched and sold purely on the title of the film. Like,
yeah.
like a film that's not on my list. I'm assuming it's not on yours. Snakes on a Plane.
No,
where
this
it's
is
like
not good.
Whereas, like
This is
the
good.
title is enough to sell the film. And
Yeah.
yeah, this just happened to actually
Snakes
be
on a plane. It's got Samuel L. Jackson, and he says, "Get these motherfucking snakes off this motherfucking plane."
Yeah.
Here's $100 million.
Yeah.
Whereas this, it is so much better than it should have been.
Yeah.
And it is so much more fun than it should have been. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Interesting that we've gone with 2 true story films in a row. Because, of course, Cocaine Bear is based on a true story. You can actually see the real Cocaine Bear in a museum still.
Yes, you do.
I am going with a film that is based on the destruction of the whaling boat, the Essex, which is, of course, the true story of Moby Dick, and it is in the heart of the sea. I don't know if you've seen this film.
I don't think I have.
I brought it up on the show before.
Is it Ron Howard?
Yeah, starring Chris Hemsworth.
I've wanted to see it for a while.
I'd be
not
curious to hear
surprised
your
in the
thoughts,
slightest
'cause
that you love it because you
I was a whaler.
You
in a
are a
past
whaler.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love this film, and it's. It's got the killer animal element there, but that is not the majority of the film. After the whale attack, this is really a survival film. Like 90% of this film is Hemsworth alone on a raft in the middle of the ocean. The true story of this is harrowing. There were, I think from memory, there were 3 or 4 that survived on the raft after the whale attack, and they just floated through the ocean for a very long time. Of course, they ended up having to eat each other.
Oh wow!
It's a harrowing story, and this is, I think, a really, really great adaptation of it. I've read the book as well that it's based on, and the book is intense because so many pages of it just go into like the science of dehydration, for example, and what happens to the body, the symptoms that you go through. Like it's that kind of like a real survival book, and the film, I think, captures a lot of it really, really well. Stuff that you wouldn't think could be captured so well on film. So, look, I know that this film wasn't like insanely, popular at the time or anything, but I'm a big fan
I thought
of it. So.
In my mind, I'd kind of lumped it together with Master and Commander and stuff.
Oh no!
I did not know it was that. I'm now doubly keen to see.
You should check it out. Yeah.
Did you, as a kid, did you ever read any of Willard Price's books?
No.
He was he's a fascinating guy to read about, actually. And there are biographies about his life because he lived just in so many places around the world doing the coolest shit imaginable. Yeah. And then wrote these, I don't know if they're kids' book or young adult books. I'd need to go back and look at them. I read them fairly young. But they're all titled things like African Adventure, Antarctic Adventure, etc. Yeah. And that they're kind of like a Hardy Boys type thing about these 2 brothers whose parents are kind of explorers or whatever. And they routinely, every book there, through plot machinations, they end up in some different remote locale around the world where they have to do. And it's all very well researched because Willard Price had lived in all of these places, and there's one called Whale Adventure where they and this shows how old I am, that this was something that I just took on board, but they go out on a whaling boat, because that used to be a thing, and throughout the course of the book, one of them gets stranded on the back of a whale, and drift at sea, etc. And it's just the kind of the in-depth how far he goes into the industries, like the African Adventure one, he delves into like the Leopard Society, which is kind of like the Mau Mau. It was a real society that used to kill white people, etc. Really interesting. If you're listening to this show and you're like 15. Go check out Willard Price. You'd probably be into those
sounds
books.
Interesting. So, I mean, the book of this is the same. A lot of the book, even, the early stuff is going on about the lifestyle of Nantucket and, just the whaling community, and they're all Quakers and, like the people who get on the boat. It's fascinating stuff. But, you should
I don't know why no one's ever tried to film Willard Price's books, because, like, Whale Adventure, for example, when he's stranded on the back of this dead sperm whale just floating out at sea, there's all these scenes where like the sharks come to try and attack him, but then killer whales come and kill the sharks, and so how the fuck is this not a movie?
All right, well, over to you for your second last pick.
Shit. All right, so I've got you and I've got you. I know you're going to pick this one, so I've ruled it out.
Expect the unexpected, my friend.
Don't be saying that.
Just take what you want. I've got a list of 10, so
I'm leaving this out because it's literally they've been doctored by man through science, so it doesn't count. I'm leaving it out. Skipping that. All right. These are my two. All right. I am going to go with, and I'm ordering this based on how fucking insane the films are. So I'm going with a 1986 film called Link.
I haven't heard of it.
So Link, underrated, I'm glad I get to shout it out, is a film from memory directed by Richard Franklin. So it's got some pedigree because Franklin's a great director. It concerns a very young Elizabeth Shue who goes, from memory, and I haven't seen this in many years, so if I'd read up on it, I'd be a little bit more distinct on this. I believe she goes to work for a discredited scientist played by Terence Stamp, who is working with primates and I think changing their brain chemistry to test how shit works with a goal to curing, I don't know, fucking Alzheimer's or something. He has a couple of chimps that he's doing work on, and he has an orangutan who wears a tuxedo who is kind of like his butler.
Yeah.
And shit goes sideways, and Link, the orangutan butler, starts becoming more aggressive, and it becomes a kind of, run away from the scary monkey type movie. But because you've got like Elizabeth Shue and you've got Terence Stamp and it's directed by Richard Frank, it's a genuinely good fucking movie.
Yeah,
and
right.
It has some really, really tense scenes without being silly.
Nice.
So yeah, highly recommend it. It's a genuinely really good film. I haven't seen it since I was quite young, but I remember being deeply affected by it, finding it very, very scary. And I did go back and watch the trailer and was like, you know what? It actually is a good movie.
Yeah, nice.
The
Nice.
acting is good. And it's Richard Franklin's a great fucking director. So I'm going to go back and watch Link again. And I implore everyone else to do the same. And if I'm completely wrong and it's a cheesy piece of shit, feel free to come at me and I will take that on the chin. But I reckon Link holds up, and I think Link is good.
All right, putting it on my list. All right, well, my next pick is a classic. I don't think it'll make your list, though. I am going with Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds.
Very close to my list. I thought it seems obvious, but I'm glad you mentioned it.
Birds are one of the scariest animals in the world.
Oh, they're
to me.
fucking gross. I hate fucking birds.
They flap. They're rats with wings. They're worse than rats. I hate them so much. And I've always been terrified of them. People...
Have I told you about when I had a bird in the house?
No, that sounds like fresh hell.
I was about 13 and Mum and Dad were out, and we had a fireplace in our old place at Mossman in Sydney, and I don't remember if it was a pigeon or an Indian miner. I think it was an Indian miner. Flew down the chimney and came out the fireplace while I was sitting in the room, and I spent, and I kid you not, and I remember it distinctly, at least 2 to 3 hours trying to capture this fucking flying rat in a jacket so that I could take it outside.
I would have just
moved, burned the house down.
Self-defenestration. I would just be that's yucky.
Every time I got close to it,
yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
I
this
fucking
movie's
hate birds.
That final sequence where they come out and there's just birds, thousands upon thousands of birds. There are more birds than people on this planet. That's what's so scary about this movie. Just a classic for a reason. Look, I know that it's easy to say,
so
of
many
course
scenes in that film.
Yeah.
And weirdly, I won't say it. I'll wait till it's in a minute. Yeah.
All right. So we're up to your final pick. What are you going with?
All right. So, as I said, or as I was going to say, not the first time we'll hear of Tippi Hedren in this countdown.
Okay.
So Tippi Hedren, famously star of The Birds,
So, but, yep.
my number one pick, not because it's the best film, not because it's the most exciting, but because it is the
I don't
most
know what it's gonna
bonkers
be.
thing in cinematic history, is Raw.
This isn't ringing a bell
From
to me.
1981.
Okay.
Raw, director, I want to say Noel Marshall. Took his family, which it included Tippi Hedren and her young daughter, Melanie Griffith, and just fucking moved to Africa for like 10 years filming lions.
So this is
And-
like a documentary of sorts.
No.
No.
Well, God, it is so hard to believe that this thing exists. So the trailer for Raw talks about Noel Marshall filming lions for 10 years. And coincidentally, you know, some of the family happen to be famous people. However, it's a great pains to state that no animals were harmed in the making of the film, which you wouldn't think to look at it because it looks insane. However, 70 members of the cast and crew were injured, including Melanie Griffith needed facial reconstructive surgery after being bitten on the face by a lion.
Wow.
Tippi Hedren had multiple surgeries afterwards. It is insane. It looks like a. I mean, it's kind of pre-David Attenborough look and feel, but it looks like a nature documentary. You've got a family there living kind of like Robinson Crusoe with lions all around them and tigers and other shit. Why there are tigers in Africa, fuck knows. It's all manufactured by the film. But it's mainly lions. However, there are so many fucking lions, and they are routinely just fucking attacked by these cats.
Yeah,
It's
right.
wild. It's hard to even describe this film because the fact that it exists almost belies belief. How anyone got budget, how anyone even wanted to produce a film where they just put their family in a lion, you know, in the middle of Africa and just let lions fucking go loose for years is astonishing. But it's one of those weird milestone films where people are aware of it, but it almost sits outside genre. It's this weird thing where this filmmaker just decided to go and take cameras and go live in Africa, and everyone on the cast and crew got mauled by fucking lions.
Yeah.
The thing that where it came across my radar was not the Tippi Hedren. It was the fact that I think Melanie Griffith might have mentioned it in an interview. So, you know, someone brought it up. You know, yeah, when I was a kid, I got like bitten in the fucking face by a lion because my family were cunts and they put me in a fucking jungle. Yeah, it is. There's a documentary around about the making of it, which is
good. I was going to say that's what I'd
highly
be curious
recommended.
to- yeah.
It is a fascinating watch.
Nice.
What's the doco called? Filming took 5 years to complete. Of the 140-person crew, at least 70 were injured during production.
That's insane.
And John Marshall said he believed that the number of people injured was actually over 100. Noel Marshall was bitten through the hand.
So it looks like there's a documentary on YouTube.
Cinematographer was Jan de Bont.
So it looks
Wow.
like there's a documentary on YouTube just called The Filming of Raw.
There you go. Oh,
Yeah.
whatever that is, it's highly recommended.
Awesome.
This was
awesome.
always my number one. It's not the most fun. It's not the best film. It's not the anything, but just purely based on the amount of injuries to cast and crew, including the fact that a toddler Melanie Griffith got bitten in the face by a fucking lion.
Yeah.
It had to be
Nice.
my number one.
Well, so far, this is good. So we're up at my number one. We've only had the one crossover, which was Razorback from my list anyway. So I don't know where I'm going to go with my final pick. I've got four left to pick from. They're all kind of more on the fun side of the fence. Which direction do I go? Look, I'm going here. I'm going with Anaconda.
Oh, I was going to say, tell me what sort of animal it is, and I'll tell you what your pick is, because I've got about four on my list that I went, okay, if he picks a shark, it's this. If he picks a snake, it's this. If he picks a dog, it's this. If he...
Yep. Well, it sounds like we've got some similar honourable mentions then. Anaconda's just a heap of fun. This is such a fun movie. It's got some really bad effects in it. It's got some really bad acting in it. You've got Jennifer Lopez. You've got John Voight.
Do you ever have John Voight?
It's just wild. It's so much fun. I made Nooskit watch it a little while ago. I tried to initiate Martini and Monster Movie Mondays. She kept the martini bit, but not the monster movies. But I love Anaconda. It's so silly. All right, let's talk some honourable mentions then. I've only got three left that weren't mentioned, which is Cujo, Deep Blue Sea. Four.
Shit. I can't believe I didn't think of Deep Blue Sea.
Lake Placid, a lot of fun.
Lake Placid, I'm so surprised wasn't on. I know how much you love that movie.
Yeah. And the other one that I wasn't sure if you consider it stretching the brief is Arachnophobia, which, you know...
I don't remember the plot well enough. Is that some sort of science has made them go crazy? Or?
No, it's just a rare species of spider from, fucking somewhere in South America or something from memory that makes its way to this small town.
Because I had eight-legged freaks in my honourable mentions, and that's...
Well, that's... Yeah. What else was in your honourables?
What did I have? I had The Shallows, which I ruled out because I really don't like Blake Lively these days. Cujo Anaconda, you said. Snakes Not Playing, you said. Bats.
Yep.
It's an old classic. The Meg. Both of them.
Yep. I ruled that out because you had your no dinosaurs rule.
But it's in the present day. If you had a dinosaur alive
Jurassic
now,
Park.
that's fine. Oh, fuck yeah, I guess. All right. What else was in there? Rogue, which is not a good film, but it does have who's Mrs. Machine Gun Fellatio, whatever the fuck his name is. Machine Gun
Kelly.
Yeah, what's her name?
Megan Fox?
Toe Thumbs, yeah, Megan Fox.
Yeah.
Inexplicably cast as the head of a counterintelligence SAS type group who go to kill some poachers, and giant CGI lions attack them, and it's a lot of fun. Rogue, Crawl, which was not a bad film.
Crawl nearly made my list. Yep.
Oh, I tell you what, it's not a good film, but I almost had it just for funsies. There's a movie called Shakma, which is about a killer baboon.
That's always fun.
It has Christopher Atkins from The Blue Lagoon and Amanda Wyss, who is the blonde friend that gets killed early on in the first Nightmare on Elm Street. And it's not good.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, I'm going to put it on the... Patrons will get it on the end of the video version of this episode. I'm going to put the trailer, because the trailer is fucking wild.
Nice. Nice. Well, that's
So
our
good.
list. Next week, we will probably, I think, be checking out...
28 days? Is that next week?
we've got 28 years later, and
28
also
years later,
also
I'm so
probably
keen.
F1.
The Apple. Yeah.
So that'll probably be next week. In the meantime, if you want to get in touch with us, you can do that at pottymouthradio.com or pottymouthradio@gmail.com. Go join the Facebook listener community, where I'm assuming that Dave will put these lists up, and,
I'll put stuff
you
up.
people can vote
People can
on
vote.
who won. You can tell us what we forgot, what would have made your lists. That would be cool.
Although I dare say anything anyone can think of won't be as good as Shakma.
And we'll catch you next week.
It started as a study of human aggression. It led to experiments on primates. But something went wrong. Starring Christopher Atkins, two-time recipient of the National Association of Theater Owners Star of the Year Award. First for Blue Lagoon, now for Shakma. Also starring Amanda Wyss of Silverado and Nightmare on Elm Street. Ari Myers from TV's Kate and Alley, featuring Roddy McDowall as Professor Sorensen. And Shakma, shocking audiences everywhere. Shakma!